is football Sunday, huh? All right, listen, I know everybody's got the pitchfork and everybody's chasing down the kid quarterback. You're chasing down the wrong person. I'm not saying Zach was good. Of course he wasn't good yesterday. The coach is the problem. Robert Saleh is not good. Robert Saleh will never be good. Robert Saleh has zero presence, zero instinct, and zero positive impact on this team. He is not an NFL head coach.
But the guy playing quarterback is an embarrassment. Like, we're talking worse than a league. And BT, not for nothing, you and Beningo, and I tried to warn you guys, the Jet fans here, and I wanted to root for the Jets, but Beningo's coming on afterward, you're coming on afterward, even after they lose Aaron freaking Rodgers, saying the season's not over, I believe in this team, don't walk around, work like a loser, all that stuff, which I respect. But the reality is you went from Aaron Rodgers to Zach Wilson. You still had the same head coach. Like, the problem is this quarterback can't play at the NFL level.
You know what's crazy? Now, listen, by the way, the whole back Zach thing, I admit, it sounds ridiculous right now. I get all that.
Well, that was a different story to me than believing in him.
Yeah, but it's all intertwined into try to support the kid. I get all that, man. I get that. But, and I know nobody wants to hear this today, can you name a more unimaginative offense, a more predictable offense than the one that the Jets tried out yesterday? Like this, and this is why I go from the quarterback, who I'm not absolving of any blame. I promise. I know he misses easy throws. I know he sees or doesn't see things that you gotta see in year 3. I know that. I'm granting you. I'm not an idiot. But what I also know is 1st and 10, left side, no yards. 2nd and 10, screen pass. See, here's the Jets tell us all the time. Robert Saleh tells us all the time, I believe in the kid. He actually verbalizes it, and then the actions back up his belief in the quarterback because he's still playing. And then when he's asked yesterday after the game, is he going to still be the quarterback? He says yes. So I can only deduce that Robert Saleh believes in the kid. Okay, if you believe in the kid, can you show it on the field? Because when you handcuff them, 1-yard pass, 2-yard pass, can you throw it downfield? And I know that that's not even the conversation today because the Jets are going nowhere. They have no backup quarterback in the building, which is a disgrace, and which is on the general manager, which we'll get to later. But the head coach, I heard stuff yesterday that went down on that sideline. That is embarrassing. Everybody's talking about the blow-up that Michael Carter had with the assistant coach. I was told that Michael Carter went up to Robert Saleh and said, give me the bleeping ball, and Robert Saleh just nodded his head yes. I was told yesterday that Robert Saleh in his headsets was wondering aloud to the guys upstairs, should I pull him? He's got no clue as a head coach. And nobody can convince me otherwise. Honestly, he's not good.
I'm not going to disagree with that. However, if I had to ask you the biggest reason for the Jets season being over and being where they are right now, what would it be? Robert Saleh or Zach Wilson?
I think it's both. I think that the fact that there's no backup quarterback on the roster that they actually trust, I think that's another answer. You see, this is what's almost...
Right, but this is the guy that first of all, Joe Douglas drafted him and believed in him,
yes.
Right? And he wasn't supposed to be the starter this year, but hey, Rodgers goes down, now he's the starter. They don't bring somebody else in the building. He's the same quarterback that you guys believed in, saying that this team was going to beat the Patriots. This team was still going to be relevant. This team is good. The defense, blah, 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 all this stuff. Zach Wilson can't make a throw.
Well, then what happened? Okay, so what about the throws that he made on that one series when they let him actually play football? This is what I mean. Like, all right, so I bypassed Hackett.
And by the way, I would have benched him. I would have benched him at the half.
You would have pulled him right there.
We talked about it on Friday. You got to do whatever it takes to win. He's not it.
Yeah.
He can't throw it. You're running the ball 8 straight times. You finally move the football. He can, and it's not his arm strength. It's not his mobility. The athleticism is there.
No question.
It's between the ears. He can't read a freaking defense.
Well, then what happened on the one series? Like, honestly, what happened on the one series? But it's the one series where they let him play loose and free. Like, I start the show, my main target, my main issue, my main gripe, my biggest concern is the head coach. And if that was a little too nebulous for some, let me just make it a little more clear. The New York Jets will win nothing with Robert Saleh as their head coach. So I don't really waste time on Nathaniel Hackett. He might be worse because if you, and again, I certainly, I grant you, I concede with certain things about Zach, he's just got to be better. And they're not going to win with him either. I'm not fighting that fight right now. But if you don't let him do the things, the only few things that he can actually do well, how are you putting your quarterback in a position to win? How do you go into this game knowing that the Patriots are going to stack the box and it takes you three quarters to let them get in a little rhythm and let them play fast and free? How is that not part of the game plan early? And if it's not game plan number one, how do you not go to it when the first thing's not working? I just don't get it.
And it goes back to week 2 with you saying that you wanted to see them air it out right out of the gate with Zach Wilson.
Yep.
Here's what it is. They don't believe in him because he cannot read a BT, look, I want to root for Zach Wilson. I wanted to see him have some success here. He's not ready. They know he's not ready. They believe he's their best choice, and everybody else knows he's not. Like, he's not an NFL quarterback at this point for whatever reason. And there are reasons why I have to trust Nathaniel Hackett, who has had success before in his career, more so than I do Zach Wilson. Now, Robert Saleh's a different story, and we talked about this being the game against New England. It is the mismatch of all mismatches. Bill Belichick against Robert Saleh and Zach Wilson. Like, you can't find a bigger mismatch. I don't care if the Jets 53 on paper is better than this or that. You can't find a bigger mismatch. And it is because they don't, the Jets, have a quarterback who could actually throw the football consistently with success. He's had a drive. He's had a play. He's never once consistently been able to move the football.
877-337-6666. Football month. Happy football, New York, huh? Jeez. BT and Sal on the Fan. By the way, inside of our Town Fair Tire studio, our friends at Town Fair remind you that always get the guarantee lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Listen, we're going to bang these calls in right away. And I know, again, I'm granting, so let's not actually ask me whatever you want, say whatever you want, but I'm trying to preemptively just address one thing. I know that there's certain things that he doesn't see. I know that. Of course I know that.
Well, I mean, it was being broken down by people on Twitter showing the film. Romo was talking about it. You've heard Boomer. Like, I'll admit, BT, I'm not a professional quarterback. Never was, never will be. So I'm not reading the defenses, but I'm watching the game. And I've also seen crappy quarterbacks before be able to complete a pass. Like, the best wide receivers in football, the worst quarterbacks figure out a way to get them the damn ball. Why is Garrett Wilson not even being – they can't throw him the ball? I mean, Zach Wilson's not looking off of his first read. They showed it many times yesterday. He's not surveying the field. He is just – he's got the skill set as far as the arm goes and the mobility.
No, there's no question. Nobody's disputing that.
And by the way –
it gets old.
And I'm not disputing Robert Saleh is a good head coach. Like, that – he needed to show me something in that game. And I said on Friday he needs to do whatever it takes to win. That would have meant pulling Zach Wilson in favor of Timmy Boyle, who can spin it. They should have pulled him and given the team a chance to win. So for me, it's everybody, but specifically the quarterback. You cannot win with Zach Wilson. He just ain't it.
And Garrett Wilson, by the way, is locked down. I mean, as great as Garrett Wilson is, that kid was all over him. So, I get it. I'm going to always defer the Romos, the Boomers, Tiki, even though Tiki's a running back. Of course, this is their life's work, football. Get that. But a lot of times, I'm watching the game, and they do the free shot. And it's like receiver 1, 2, outlet 3, 4. Everyone is covered. It's unimaginative. It's uninspiring. It's incredibly predictable. The offensive coordinator stinks. If Robert Saleh is fired after the year, during the year, there's not a team in the NFL that's going to hire him as their head. DC, yeah. Nobody's going to look at him and say, that guy's a good head coach. It's not all his fault. But here's the thing about Saleh, and that's why it's my biggest gripe today. The things that can be controlled, right, that you can control, he does not control. Where's the guy who was dropping F-bombs all summer? Where's the guy who was reaching for ridiculous poetry and literature and all these other comparisons about what the Jets would be and who they are? Where's that guy?
He's not a good head coach.
He just slinks up to the podium yesterday, and that man looked beaten. That man looked defeated. And everything that he espoused, I don't have an ounce of conviction in that it will change. I do not believe in him. I do not trust him as a coach, and I do not ever think that will ever change. Period. He is not good. All right. First up, Eric in Rivervale. Eric, what's cooking, buddy? How are you today?
Oh, BT, I'm about as fantastic as you are. How you doing, Sal?
I'm good.
Man, I got to tell you guys, I mean, BT, out of the gate, you couldn't have said it better than me. I mean, obviously the easy meat and the easy, target.
The target,
that.
yeah.
But to me, it's Saleh. I mean, what he said after that game yesterday, after watching that slop, that embarrassment, I don't understand. Like his life, like his livelihood, his job is on the line, and he's going to defend this guy after we watched what was arguably the worst quarterback performance I've ever seen. And what blows my mind is, you're a Jets fan. When 2 weeks ago we're talking about the Super Bowl, and yesterday I'm watching this game, praying to God we go 1-16 and we can draft a quarterback.
Tankathon.com is going to be the most tapped in website about. Here we go.
See, that's what I didn't. That's what I didn't get from the Jet fans. I just didn't understand it. Like, you guys were dealt a death blow with Rodgers. Like, it's not your fault. It happens. It's unfortunate. It happens. And I give you credit on one aspect of trying to be resilient, but the Jet fans were delusional. You just lost Aaron Rodgers. Your season went from Aaron Rodgers to Zach Wilson. The head coach remains the same. You thought you could win a Super Bowl, and by the way, I thought they could too with Robert Saleh, but everybody thought the Jets were going to be in contention with Robert Saleh. How then did you go from Rodgers and Saleh to then Saleh and Wilson and think that they were going to have a season? I mean, come on. It's delusion at its highest levels. It's sad that here we are. It is, it, BT.
I got you. I'm laughing because it's what else is there? Honestly,
I can't believe we're talking about that.
Me neither.
We said it before the season. If something goes wrong this year, I'll never be able to go. 4 plays in, Rodgers is out. Here we are 3 weeks later talking about Zach Wilson's got to go, Saleh's got to go.
And but here's the worst part. It's going to get worse the next game. Now the entire nation gets to laugh at us.
Dude.
Been waiting all day to get our ass kicked.
Sunday night. I mean, come on.
Been waiting all day to get mocked. Jeez. It is just torturous, man. Charlie's in Bethpage. Chuck, what's happening, buddy? How are you today?
Oh my God.
Yes.
DT, no. DT, stop protecting this kid. He's terrible. I got no voice. I worked all weekend in the rain reffing football. Now I get home Sunday. I want to relax. Little 1800 and watch the Jets from 1 to 4. Crap, I'm screaming at the TV. The kid is terrible. Saleh has a blank stare on his face on the sidelines. The kid's got to go back to Salt Lake, get him on his uncle's airline at JetBlue, and he can bang all the Cougars he wants out in Salt Lake. He's got to go.
Even the Mills don't want. He's got to go to the Cougars, Sal. The Mills don't. Zach has become so bad, the Mills said, we don't want you. We got to go to the Cougars. They even downgraded that.
Look, a part of me feels bad for him, but he just ain't it. I mean, it was obvious that he ain't it. And if the head coach doesn't know that he ain't it, that's what I mean, BT. We're watching that game. You got to feel – we've watched a million games in our lifetime. That game, to me, had the feel of get this kid out if you want to win this game. And Saleh just sits there with his arms crossed watching the game like, dude, do you want to win? Do you want to actually beat the Patriots for once in your life? And how about all that talk beforehand? Oh, well, it's not on our records. Man, now you're 0-5 against them. All the tough-talking Jets, the 85 Bears, that defense, right down the field, the Patriots go on them.
Yeah, a couple third downs.
And then people defending them with the numbers and all this guy. Oh, they only scored 13. Bull crap. Mac Jones was hitting guys wide open all game long. So it's not obviously just about one thing, but Zach Wilson was not on par. Like, it was a sloppy NFL game, period. Zach Wilson doesn't belong in the NFL. And if the head coach can't see that, they both need to go. And that game, to me, was a barometer for both those guys. It's over. That's it. Done. Saleh, bye-bye. Zach Wilson, long goodbye. And I'll tell you something else. Joe Douglas, you're next.
Yeah, Joe is not looking good right now. Joe is not looking good at all. Joe in Old Bridge. Joe, what's happening?
Hey, good morning, BT. Good morning, Sal.
Morning.
So,
what's up, Joe?
I am so tired of this franchise pissing on my leg and telling me it's raining out and telling me what my eyes are seeing, you're not really seeing it. I got to be honest, man. I think Christian Hackenberg would be a better fit under center than Zach Wilson. And this defense, I'm starting to think it was just fool's gold last year, man. I'm so
where's the pass rush, Joe? Where's the
this.
pass rush, Joe? Where's the pass rush?
Yeah, it ain't there, I'll tell you that. It would have been nice if when we were in Dallas, somebody would have bought a plane ticket for the defense to come on down, you know?
Yeah. You know, Joe, you know what surprises me the most? Thanks for the call there, buddy. I mean, listen to these calls we're taking. It's not even October yet. And these losers managed to do this to us again. I tell you, man, listen, the Jets are they've got, I know when he came here, Roger said we've got one Lombardi. They got 20 Lombardis. If you get a Lombardi for coming up with the most crazy script and fooling us and then, pulling the rug out immediately, the Jets are an all-time team. And they are a dynasty at doing that. But what bothers me the most, Sal, and I admit I never saw this part coming, and I was wrong. Schematics, that's one thing, right? And getting to the weeds, sometimes you have to let the players who play. Okay, I'm not talking about that. If you told me the day that Robert Saleh was hired, the guy that I saw, the lunatic with the Niners, running stairs, jacked, right? If you told me that guy would become so almost certainly detached and seemingly soft.
Oh, he's soft.
Then I think that would have represented one of the greatest surprises that I've ever seen as a sports fan. Like, I at least expected him to go down swinging, not let third string running. Is that Curtis Martin or is that Michael Carter? Who the hell does Michael Carter think he is?
Now
give me the ball. You're lucky you're on the team. The kid from Pitt should be playing over you. He's Michael Carter.
He set a bad precedent, Saleh, no question about it. But the one thing I would say, I mean, was Saleh really set up for success with Zach Wilson as a rookie? Now, the Jets put him in a position to fail, and guess what he did? But a rookie, year one, obviously disaster. Year two last year, didn't have a quarterback. And then this year again, without Rodgers, it's back to Zach Wilson, who clearly wasn't ready. The Jets knew it because he was the backup.
Listen, there's an element of that is fair. I don't need you to score 30. Score 20, man. I mean, or score 16. Come on. You're 0-5. This is really the worst, least talented Patriots team in 20-something years, like these most recent iterations, and you can't even beat this version?
And honestly,
what are we doing?
To me, it wasn't even competitive. Like, down again big at half, you felt like the score wasn't indicative of how the game felt. You right out of the gate. I got buddies, Jet fan friends texting me. I go, "Oh, what do you think's going to happen?" Like, you can feel it immediately right out of the gate. The defense ain't it. The defense had to set the tone. They didn't. And then you watch Zach Wilson, and he just 3 and out. I mean, come on, dude. They didn't even compete in this game.
877-337-6666. Another happy Monday on the Fan. BT and Sal, back to your Jet calls next on the Fan.